Security data is the backbone of cyber defense across IT and OT environments. DataSense collects, enriches, transforms, and routes curated data to SIEM platforms and other destinations, delivering maximum cybersecurity protection and actionable insight. Built on mission-critical security architecture, DataSense serves government, defense, national security, and critical national infrastructure. Proven worldwide, from the UK to Japan in the most demanding environments. Here's a brief introduction to Assuria DataSense. Open a web UI to localhost on port 8443 and log in with your credentials. We support multi-factor authentication, and this will need to be configured when you first log in. We are presented with the initial dashboard, which aims to provide an overview of the entire DataSense system. We have metric to show total pipelines, volumes processed, any pipeline errors that have occurred either during setup or processing of a dataset. The dashboard provides a resource overview on what the CPU, memory, and disk utilizations are to ensure the system is running optimally. The first step is for us to set up a new exporter. An exporter defines the destination for the dataset, such as a SIEM tool or a SOC service. Select Exporter on the left-hand panel, which takes you to the Exporter configuration page. The Exporter page lists the configured exporters that are available. DataSense includes a standard set of integrations for exporting data, including Elasticsearch, AWS 3-Bucket, and Splunk. We are continually expanding our list of supported integrations. For the most up-to-date list, please visit the DataSense website. On the Exporter page, you have the option to filter based on a number of fields, such as name, type, status, last export, number of exported datasets, and which pipeline the exporter references. Select the Add Exporter button, and you will be presented with the new exporter configuration window. We will give this configuration a simple, meaningful name such as ECS Exporter. Under Exporter Type, select Elasticsearch. In the next section, Connection Configuration, select Elasticsearch instances. Under hostname, enter either an IP address or a DNS name that points to your Elasticsearch. In this example, we will use 172.20.0.8. If you are using a custom Elasticsearch port other than the default 9200, please amend this. We will leave the default settings for communication, idle socket, and pool size. Under Authentication, enter an API key that allows DataSense to write to the Elasticsearch instance. In the next section, you configure whether your Elasticsearch instance uses HTTP or HTTPS connection, and whether you intend to use a trust store and key store. Leave hostname verification disabled. Leave the default HTTPS set. In this demo, we are using certificates to authenticate to Elasticsearch, so we'll need to point the trust store to the CA certificate. Next section, Index Configuration. This is where you select if you intend to export the Windows and/or other index, such as firewall, switches, and anything else collected via API or syslog. If the indexes are not on the destination, they will be created for you on the first run. You have the option to use the Elastic Pipeline setting if you intend to further enhance the datasets on Elastic. Click Create to save and finalize the new exporter. Now that we have finished our first exporter, we will set up a new pipeline and point it to our new exporter. Go to the pipeline configuration page by selecting Pipeline on the left-hand panel. On the pipeline page, you will see a list of configured pipelines. A single pipeline can be configured to multiple exporters. For example, you could use DataSense to route curated data into your existing SIEM tool, such as Splunk, while simultaneously routing the same data into Elastic SIEM to evaluate both the processing efficiency and the effectiveness of the resulting security outcomes. In this example, we will use a single pipeline to a single exporter. The pipeline page provides a high-level overview showing how many datasets have been processed successfully and highlighting any failures, as well as the last time this pipeline processed a dataset. Click Add Pipeline to begin the pipeline configuration. Under Basic Configuration, we will provide a suitable name for the new pipeline and a brief description. In this example, we will use ECS pipeline. Provide a brief description of this pipeline. Let's use Test Pipeline to Elastic. You can toggle whether to enable or disable this pipeline. You can apply a number of filters to either allow processing of certain events in a dataset or whether to discard/drop before sending it through the exporter. This can help improve SIEM costs by discarding any unnecessary noise. The filtering is based on predicates. We are looking to match parts of a log that you either want to allow or drop. As an example, we will use tag ID is 4624 and you can select Allow. This will only allow Windows Event ID 4624 to be passed through to the destination. Or you can select Drop, in which case this drops 4624 from being passed to the destination. In this example, we will skip this step. Before the datasets are processed, you pass them through the DataSense data enrichment, which uses well-known threat intelligence feeds. We can highlight any suspicious IP addresses, file hashes, domain names before the datasets reach its destination. This is a simple toggle, on or off. In this example, we'll enable this feature. In the next section, you have the option to redact and/or remove certain fields before exporting. Redacting fields will ensure sensitive information won't pass through the exporter. Removing of fields can help reduce unnecessary noise on the destination and potentially save money from not storing unwanted data. Select the Field to Redact drop-down menu and type in Message. Leave the default redacted in the replacement value. The last section, we need to map the new pipeline to the exporter we previously created. Select the new exporter and then click Create to finalize the new pipeline. The newly deployed pipeline is now active and has begun processing incoming datasets. Monitoring confirms that 5 datasets have been successfully processed, with the latest execution reflecting updated results. Let's transition to Elastic to validate that the logs have been ingested by the new pipeline. A new exporter and pipeline have been successfully implemented to transmit datasets to Elastic. Verification confirms that the destination has received the datasets as expected. The dataset has been processed through the DataSense threat intelligence engine, and the data has been enriched to flag any suspicious domain, IP addresses, and file hashes. In this example, we have seen the IP 101.36.104.242 being flagged as suspicious. We will now show you the DataSense dashboard, showing the total volumes processed and successful exports. Under the Sanitization Impact dashboard, we can retrieve stats such as how many fields have been redacted or removed across each pipeline. This concludes the demo. You've seen how DataSense captures, enriches, and routes data. You've seen how pipelines and exporters are configured in minutes. And you've seen how it delivers clarity and control across your data flows.